you had this idea to take me to this spa,
Yeah.
this Korean spa here in LA. So I took you up on it. And I think once a week, maybe, or once every 2 weeks, people come up to me and they love it. And I have a lot of Koreans that come up that know that you and I went to Korea together.
Yeah.
And it's been this gift because it wasn't intentional. We just did it because we knew, you knew, you said, oh my God, if I bring this tall red-haired woman to a spa and these women walk on his back and he has to get in a freezing plunge pool and stuff, this is just going to be funny. And it was really delightful, and it holds up nicely after all this time. But it also helped me appreciate how much I loved going and checking out other cultures and me being the joke. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed putting myself in situations in other countries where I'm the odd man out. And they're kind of laughing at me and I don't quite get it. And I mean, I think if we did that remote and then we ended up going to Korea together and it was such, we were improvising a lot. We were on buses. We were exhausted. We were also dealing with social media in South Korea is so hypersensitive. I mean, they love you, but then if you do one thing that they can feel slighted, but then if you do one other thing to correct that, then they love you again. I remember you were helping us navigate. Don't do that. Okay.
Well, here's the rub, though. I think part of the reason why, and I'm just kind of coming to this now, that maybe those remotes and like those bits kind of worked was also I was incredibly unreliable.
Yes.
Like I wasn't also not you. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like an interpreter and you. It was like a fallible, unreliable guide that is mostly American also going along. But like the gaze of that country would reflect off of me a little differently than you. And you could notice that.
Really? What do you mean?
I mean, if you watch it, I think you can notice it until you get to that point where you're like, hey, what is this dish? And I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know.
I kept forgetting that. Wait a minute, you're a Canadian guy who went to Michigan. As much as you're a South Korean. Idea. But I was like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, Steven, tell us about this wonderful ritual. And you're like, I have no idea.
I don't know. No one explained this.
I'll explain the Detroit Pistons lineup to you. But I can't help you with what this monk is saying right now. We had an amazing moment. You and I got in a bus with my crew, and we drove and we got to this beautiful mountaintop. I remember it was cold. It was cold in South Korea, and like an idiot, I was like, right, it gets cold. I remember that from MASH. There were episodes where they were cold. I'm like, Conan, come on. Not everything is 1970s TV. No. I remember Major Burns shivering and needing a blanket. So yes, it gets cold in Korea, but it was really cold, and we went to the top of this mountain, and there was a monastery, and you and I went, and it was so, I mean, it really looked the part, this very spiritual place, and they took us through, and they were teaching us how to meditate and pray and bow, and we were, these monks just seemed like they had found the answer. And I remember thinking, they figured it out. They figured out the answer. And then at one point, we had a break in shooting, and one of the monks was gesturing me. He didn't speak English, but he was like, he wanted to show me something. He took me out back, and he showed me their massive satellite for streaming content. It was just this massive thing. And then I was like, what do you watch? And they were like, oh, Breaking Bad. We
had two phones. He had an iPhone and a Samsung.
Yes, he had an iPhone. One phone rang, and he was like, darn phone. And he went to switch it off because I thought, once I leave this temple, I shall throw away my phone. And then, and the monk is like, damn it. And he reaches in and turns off one of his phones, but it's the wrong phone. And then I see he's playing, some game on, he's building his Sims world. I don't know. But it was a really great experience and funny. And I like experiences that humble me. And I've noticed that, whether it's us going to the spa or us going to Korea, it's just, I liked, and I think we're similar that way. We both could tell that we didn't quite know what was going on.
Yeah.
We didn't quite fit in this environment.
Yeah.
And yet that was sort of the fun of it. That was the charge.